Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts below, because what you'll hear tonight isn't just a story, it's a reminder of what's already inside you. Ibn Arabi once said, "Within you is a secret energy that reflects the divine, but only silence can reveal it." This is the story of that secret. The energy Allah placed within your soul isn't something you can see, touch, or measure, it's something you feel when the world goes quiet. It's that pull toward goodness when no one's watching, that sudden peace in sujud, that whisper in your heart when you almost lose hope but still say, Alhamdulillah. That's not coincidence, that's your soul remembering its origin. Before you were born, before your body, before your name, Allah spoke to your soul and asked, "Am I not your Lord?" And your soul answered, "Yes." That answer is still echoing inside you. Ibn Arabi said, every heartbeat is the soul repeating that yes. But as you live, the noise of the world makes you forget. You chase, you fear, you lose, and you wonder why your chest feels empty. The truth is, it's not empty. It's full, but asleep. Allah placed that energy within you so you could find your way back to Him. Every moment of pain, every spark of love, every act of kindness, all of it awakens that divine spark. When you forgive, it glows. When you pray, it rises. When you help, it expands. It's not something outside of you, it is you, the part of you that never sins, never dies, and never doubts the light it came from. So when you feel lost, don't look for light in the world. Close your eyes and look within. Because the secret energy Allah placed in your soul is the proof that He never left, He just hid Himself inside you, waiting for you to remember. And when you begin to feel that energy awaken, it's unlike anything the world can give you. It doesn't roar, it hums softly, like peace wrapping itself around your heart. You realize it was never missing, it was only covered by worry, desire, and noise. Ibn Arabi said, the divine light in the heart is veiled only by the dust of forgetfulness. Every dhikr wipes that dust away, and every moment of silence polishes the mirror of your soul. You start to notice it in small things. When you help someone without expecting thanks, that energy grows warm. When you forgive someone who doesn't deserve it, it glows brighter. When you pray not out of fear but out of love, it expands until you feel it in your whole body. That's the secret Ibn Arabi spoke of, the energy of remembrance, the current of divine mercy running through every soul that remembers its source. But the world tries to drown it. The distractions, the ego, the endless chase for validation, all of them are noise designed to pull you away from that stillness inside. And yet, Allah's mercy is stronger. He sends you signs, a verse that moves your heart, a loss that humbles you, a silence that forces you to listen. Those aren't punishments, they're awakenings. Ibn Arabi wrote, when Allah wishes to speak to a servant, He first empties their world. That emptiness you feel sometimes, that's not loneliness. That's space being made for light. And as that light grows, you begin to understand what it means to be alive in the truest sense. You realize that your soul was never meant to collect things, it was meant to reflect Him. Every act of love, patience, or gratitude becomes a form of remembrance. Every breath becomes worship. You begin to see how everything around you, the wind, the stars, the people, the silence, are all mirrors showing you what's already within. You no longer search for Allah as if He's far. You feel Him in every heartbeat, every tear, every moment that humbles you. Because the secret energy He placed within your soul isn't a mystery anymore, it's remembrance itself, waiting to be felt, guiding you back home. And as you continue to awaken to that light, something extraordinary begins to happen. The line between the world outside and the world within starts to fade. You look at a sunrise, and it feels like your own soul is rising with it. You hear the call to prayer, and your heart answers before your lips do. You realize that every beautiful thing in creation is just a reflection of what already exists inside you. Ibn Arabi said, "The universe is a shadow cast by the light of the heart." And now, you understand what he meant. That secret energy Allah placed within you is not only a spark, it's the same light that moves the stars, the same force that keeps the oceans alive, the same breath that spoke be and created existence. You carry that within you. You're not separate from the creation that worships Him, you're part of its constant remembrance. Every beat of your heart echoes Subhanallah, every breath whispers Alhamdulillah, even when you're silent. But the more you awaken, the more responsibility you feel. Because to know that Allah's light lives within you means you must protect it from arrogance, from greed, from heedlessness. You begin to walk carefully through life, not out of fear of sin, but out of reverence for the sacredness of every moment. You understand that to hurt another heart is to dim your own light, and to forgive is to make it shine again. Ibn Arabi said, "The polished heart becomes a window through which the divine gazes upon the world." You polish yours through patience, humility, and love. And soon, remembrance becomes effortless. You no longer have to force yourself to feel close to Allah, you just are. You find Him in the laughter of a child, in the rhythm of rain, in the silence between words. Even pain becomes a form of communication, not cruelty but care. Because now you see that everything He sends, joy, sorrow, gain, loss, all moves through that same secret current He placed within you. When you finally sit in silence, the kind that feels like eternity, you'll feel it, a soft pulse deep inside your chest, older than your body, stronger than your fears. It doesn't ask for proof or reason. It simply whispers the same truth it's carried since the beginning: you are never alone. The light you seek has always been you, because you are from me. And when you finally hear that whisper clearly, everything changes. The noise of the world no longer drowns you, it passes through you like wind through an open window. You walk through life lighter, softer, freer, because you finally understand that the secret energy within you is not meant to be controlled, it's meant to be remembered. Ibn Arabi said, "When the heart remembers its source, it becomes the instrument through which Allah plays His own melody." And now your life has become that melody, each breath, each step, each prayer a note in a divine song. You start to see how Allah's presence flows through every detail of existence. The way the sun rises without fail, the way forgiveness always brings peace, the way a sincere tear feels lighter than 1,000 words, it's all part of the same rhythm. That secret within you is not something hidden to be discovered, it's something sacred to be unveiled. Every moment of awareness removes another veil, every act of mercy clears another layer until you begin to see what was always there, Allah living through His creation. You realize then that nothing in your life was random, not the joy that lifted you, not the pain that broke you. Every joy was a spark of His beauty, and every pain a door to His wisdom. Ibn Arabi said, "The beloved hides himself in opposites, so the seeker may learn to see Him in all." You see Him now, in the laughter and in the tears, in beginnings and endings, in stillness and motion. The world no longer confuses you, it teaches you. And as your heart becomes still, you understand the greatest secret of all, that the energy Allah placed within your soul was not given for you to find Him, but to know that He never left. You are not a seeker chasing the divine, you are a vessel reflecting it. Every breath you take is His mercy breathing through you, every heartbeat is His reminder that He is closer than your jugular vein. When you whisper La ilaha illallah now, it's no longer a phrase, it's recognition. It's your soul remembering its first promise, its eternal yes. You close your eyes, the world fades, and in that perfect silence, you finally hear it, the secret energy within you answering back. He was always here. I was always His. And as that realization settles deeper than thought, deeper even than emotion, you feel as though time itself pauses. The air becomes weightless, the silence alive. It's as if the whole universe is holding its breath with you. Ibn Arabi said, when the servant realizes his soul is the mirror of the divine, he stops searching for light, for he understands he is the reflection of it. You feel this truth vibrating through you now. It's not something you believe, it's something you are. You walk through the world as though every leaf, every sound, every human glance carries his fingerprint. You no longer look at creation, you look through it. You see how everything is perfectly arranged to teach, to guide, to remind. Even what you once called pain now looks different. It becomes the hand of the beloved reshaping your heart to fit more light. You realize that Allah never tests to punish, He tests to unveil. Every struggle was an invitation to rediscover that energy He placed within you before time began. You begin to live differently. Your words slow down. Your eyes soften. You listen more than you speak, because you've learned that silence has its own form of worship. You begin to see that dhikr isn't just a prayer, it's the natural vibration of your soul returning to harmony with its creator. Ibn Arabi said, the heart that remembers becomes like the Kaaba, angels circle around it. And you can almost feel that now, your inner world glowing, calm, orbiting around a center that never moves. And when you stand in prayer, you realize you are not reaching up to Allah anymore, you are standing within His presence. The space between you and Him dissolves. You are the servant and the mirror, the seeker and the reflection. That secret energy within you, once hidden, once faint, now fills everything. It is light, it is mercy, it is remembrance, and it is endless. You whisper, Ya Allah, you were never far. It was I who forgot where to look. And in that whisper, the journey ends. Not because it's over, but because you've finally come full circle, back to the truth you carried since the beginning. The light you searched for was never in the sky, nor in the world, it was in your soul, all along, waiting for the moment you would remember Him completely. And when the remembering becomes constant, when every breath, every glance, every heartbeat feels like a quiet Ya Allah, the boundary between you and peace disappears. You no longer try to reach the divine, you simply rest in Him. The world, with all its noise, can still shake around you, but it no longer shakes you. You've become like a calm ocean. Storms may touch the surface, but the depths remain still. Ibn Arabi said, when the soul knows its origin, the winds of destiny cannot move it. And you live by that now. The same problems that once consumed you still exist, but they no longer define you. You understand they are only waves meant to remind you of the sea within. You no longer rush to fix everything. You simply trust that Allah is already arranging it. Your heart doesn't chase outcomes anymore, it chases presence. You start to live slower, deeper, aware that every moment carries meaning. Even your dua changes. You stop asking for specific things, and instead you ask, Ya Allah, let me not forget you. Because now you know, once you have Him, everything else will find its way. And when you lose Him, even if you have the world, you'll feel empty. Ibn Arabi wrote, the secret energy of the soul is the remembrance of the moment before existence. You begin to understand that this remembrance is the source of all peace, the echo of that eternal yes your soul gave when Allah asked, Am I not your Lord? And when you sit alone, in the quiet of night, you no longer feel loneliness, you feel fullness. The air feels alive, the darkness feels kind, and your chest glows with a warmth that words can't touch. You know now that you were never searching for Allah outside of yourself, He was speaking to you through every experience, every delay, every heartbeat. So you close your eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper, You were in my silence. You were in my pain. You were in my joy. You were always there. And in that moment, something eternal opens, not in the heavens, but inside you. The light of your soul and the mercy of your Lord become one flow, endless and pure. That is the secret energy Ibn Arabi spoke of, the pulse of divine love that never leaves, that never fades, that turns every breath into worship and every moment into home. And as you dwell in that awareness, life itself begins to move differently around you. The ordinary becomes sacred. The way the wind touches your face feels like mercy. The sound of a child laughing feels like revelation. Even silence carries meaning, not emptiness, but fullness too vast for words. Ibn Arabi said, when the veil is lifted, every sound becomes dhikr, every sight becomes ayah. You finally see what he meant. The entire universe is reciting, and your soul is simply remembering its part in the song. You start walking through the world like a guest in Allah's garden, not clinging, not fearing, simply witnessing. You smile more, not because life has become easier, but because your heart has. The same pain that once broke you now feels like proof of his closeness. The same uncertainty that once made you anxious now reminds you of his control. You realize that you are never in darkness, only under a different shade of his light. Your heart, once restless, now beats with quiet purpose. You no longer wake up wondering what you lack, you wake up wondering what lesson of love today will reveal. Every face you meet becomes a reflection, every test a mirror. Ibn Arabi wrote, the secret of existence is that every encounter is with him, disguised in the forms you love and the forms you fear. And now you live with that certainty. You no longer divide the world into sacred and ordinary, you see his name written on both. When you speak, your words soften. When you look, your gaze deepens. When you pray, your voice trembles not from fear, but from awe. You realize that you were never supposed to become perfect, you were only meant to become aware. Aware that every breath is borrowed from mercy, every heartbeat is a remembrance, every moment is an opportunity to say, Ya Allah, I see you here too. And when you lay your head to rest at night, the stars above don't feel distant, they feel familiar, like companions from the time before creation. You close your eyes and feel that same pulse within your chest, the eternal rhythm of La ilaha illallah. You smile faintly, whispering, I found you everywhere because you were never gone. You were within me, waiting to be seen. And that's the final awakening, when the seeker disappears, and only remembrance remains. The soul becomes still, the heart becomes light, and the only thing left to say is the truth your being has always known. There is no distance between me and you, there never was. And when that final veil lifts, even the word I begins to lose its weight. You no longer feel like a separate being reaching for the divine, you feel like a wave realizing it was never apart from the sea. The boundaries that once defined you, name, form, fear, desire, dissolve gently into the vastness of his presence. Ibn Arabi said, when the drop remembers the ocean, it no longer fears the tide. And that is where you now stand, not outside looking in, but within what you always sought. You begin to understand that everything you called life was never random, it was the path Allah designed for your remembering. Every joy was his smile, every sorrow his whisper. Every prayer was a doorway back to him, and every silence was him listening. The secret energy within your soul was never a spark to find, it was his own light reflected in miniature, a fragment of the infinite placed within you so that you would one day recognize its source. You no longer ask questions of destiny, you simply trust its flow. You no longer chase signs, because every breath is a sign. The past no longer hurts you, the future no longer frightens you. You live entirely in the present moment, the only place where Allah reveals himself fully. Ibn Arabi said, the heart that surrenders to the now drinks directly from the spring of the eternal. And now you drink from that spring in every act. Every gaze, every breath. When you pray, it's no longer seeking, it's remembering. When you love, it's no longer attachment, it's reflection. When you forgive, it's no longer weakness, it's the mercy of the one moving through you. You've become transparent to his will, weightless in His plan. There's no need to control, because you finally understand there is no your control, only His. And in that realization, peace no longer feels like something that visits you, it becomes what you are. The silence inside you hums with light, and the world outside seems to echo it back. You close your eyes and hear it everywhere, in wind, in breath, in stillness, the same eternal rhythm repeating, He was, He is, and He will always be. And at that point, the journey is complete. You are not the traveler anymore, you are the path, you are the prayer, you are the light through which Allah looks upon His creation. The secret energy within your soul has returned to its source, and all that remains is awe. You whisper softly, without need for words, I did not find you, Ya Allah. I only stopped forgetting you. And when that understanding deepens beyond thought, even remembrance becomes effortless. It is no longer something you do, but something that is. You breathe, and that is dhikr. You walk, and that is dhikr. The whole of existence turns into worship without movement, without sound. The birds above you, the earth beneath you, the pulse within you, all reciting the same hidden name that has always been there. Ibn Arabi said, when the servant disappears in remembrance, remembrance itself becomes the one who remembers. You finally know what that means. The soul that once cried for closeness now rests in union. You no longer ask, where is Allah, because there is no direction left to seek. You see Him in the sparkle of water, in the breath of the wind, in the tears of a stranger, in the mirror of your own gaze. Every moment feels eternal, every heartbeat feels sacred, because there is nothing left outside of Him. The world, with all its forms, becomes a single verse repeating, He is with you wherever you are. You begin to live as silence lives, full, alive, unseen but present in all things. You don't speak of the divine anymore, you move with the divine. Every act becomes a reflection of mercy, every step a gesture of gratitude. You understand that to live is not to exist separately, but to allow His will to flow through you freely. Ibn Arabi wrote, the perfected soul is like clear water, it takes the shape of whatever vessel Allah pours it into. And now your life is that water, calm, unresisting, illuminated from within. When you sit beneath the night sky, there is no difference between the stars above and the light within your chest, both shine from the same source. You smile without reason, tears glimmering softly, because you finally feel what every prophet knew, that the greatest miracle was never walking on water or parting the sea, it was realizing that Allah was never absent. And when your heart whispers, La ilaha illallah now, it's not a repetition, it's recognition. It's the pulse of existence affirming its own truth. You close your eyes, and the boundaries dissolve completely. There is no you, no me, no separation. Only the endless, timeless presence of the one who has always been, the secret, the source, the light. The energy Allah placed within your soul has completed its purpose. It has led you home, not to a place, but to awareness. You rest in that silence where words cannot reach, where everything is Him, and whisper the final truth your soul was created to remember. There was never a distance to cross. There was only you, revealing yourself through me. And when this realization finally settles in, it becomes the most natural thing in the world, like breathing. You live your life not as a seeker or a scholar or a mystic, but simply as someone who remembers. You look at everything around you, the people you love, the strangers passing by, the rain, the stars, and you see no separation, only different reflections of the same divine light. Ibn Arabi said, when the heart becomes clear, the world itself becomes a page of the Qur'an. You start reading that page everywhere. The laughter of a child becomes an ayah of joy. The terror of the oppressed becomes an ayah of mercy. Even your own heartbeat becomes a verse of praise, the universe reciting through you. You no longer wonder how to serve Allah, your life itself has become service, each moment an offering, each breath a prayer. You move gently through the world, aware of its fragility and its beauty. You see how even what seems broken carries perfection in its design. Nothing feels wasted anymore, not the waiting, not the pain, not the silence. You realize that Allah hid himself in imperfection so you would learn to see him everywhere, not just in what shines. Ibn Arabi wrote, "The divine hides in opposites so that the eye of the heart may never sleep." Now your heart never sleeps, it stays awake in awe. And when you stand in sujud, your forehead pressed to the earth, you don't ask for anything, you simply say thank you. Not because life is flawless, but because it is sacred. You finally understand that the secret energy within your soul is not a power to control, it is the breath of the beloved moving through you, reminding you that you were never apart. You rise from prayer and look at the world with new eyes, not as a servant separate from his Lord, but as a mirror through which his mercy looks upon creation. You whisper one last time, "There is no distance, no delay, no darkness, only you, Ya Allah, unfolding through all things." And in that moment, the journey ends not with fireworks or revelation, but with silence. A silence so complete it feels infinite, because it holds everything: love, remembrance, existence itself. That is the secret Ibn Arabi lived for, not to find Allah, but to realize he was always the one who found you. And in that final stillness, when the light within you and the world around you no longer feels separate, a realization arises, gentle, endless, complete. There was never a journey at all, only unveiling. You were never walking toward Allah, you were walking within him. Ibn Arabi said, "The end of the path is not union, it is recognition." Recognition that the breath you took, the thoughts you formed, the love you gave, the tears you shed, all of them were his expressions through you. You look at the sky one last time, and it no longer feels high above, it feels like the reflection of your own soul. Every sound, every color, every heartbeat hums the same sacred name. You realize that even your longing for him was never yours, it was his way of drawing you back. Every dua you whispered was already answered the moment it was born. The energy Allah placed within your soul has fulfilled its purpose, it has shown you who you truly are, not a separate being, but a mirror of his infinite mercy. The drop has remembered the ocean, and the ocean smiles through the drop. There is no fear, no distance, no question left, only peace that has no edges. You whisper softly, "All this time, I thought I was searching for you, but it was you, Ya Allah, who was revealing yourself through my search." And in that whisper, everything, the world, the stars, your breath, dissolves into silence. A silence so vast it feels like eternity, yet so intimate it feels like home. This is the end that was written before the beginning. The soul returns not by traveling through space, but by remembering its source. And as your heart beats one final La ilaha illallah, the universe replies, Muhammad Rasulullah. The circle completes, and all that remains is light.